Now we're doing it. I realize I don't usually do these this late in the day. I'm like, why does my energy feel entirely different? Like my energy just starts to completely shift after like 3 o'clock. Like 3 o'clock is like when the sun starts going down for me. Hi, hello, welcome. Make yourselves cozy. How you guys doing tonight? My name is Nimue. I am a professional psychic, intuitive, evidential medium, and channel. I try to do these once a week. These are collective readings based on your zodiac sign. We start in order. We go from Aries to Pisces, and this is just going to be the energy for the week. I wanted to do this yesterday, but I just had too much going on. Yesterday was wild. The energy was for me, the energy was absolutely beautiful. Hi, Sarah. I'm doing really good today. After I got the floor absolutely just wiped with me, like 3 days ago, like I am feeling a little bit on the rebound from that. So I'm feeling a lot better. I feel like that whole Chiron stationing direct thing, I just like wasn't prepared for how that was going to show up in my life. And now I get it. I'm not taking it personally anymore. Busy. Yeah, I was busy yesterday. Yesterday was good, but it was like a good busy. Like I felt like really connected to flow. Some really good manifestation stuff came through yesterday too, so that made me feel really good. So, all right, guys, tap the screen, share this with your friends. We're going to get going here. We're going to start with Aries. And again, we're going to go in order from Aries to Pisces. So this is going to be for the week, just, what energies to pay attention to. I also did a monthly outlook on my YouTube, so if you guys want to go check those out. I don't know, I kind of like getting more specific for the weeks as well. Energy's been intense for you. It's this year, you guys, like this is why all of us intuitives and even people who do not consider themselves to be psychic intuitives have been like 2025 is about to like blow our minds in ways good and not so good. I feel like there's just so much fear peddling going on right now on social media. I really want you guys to be mindful of that, by the way. Like, yes, there are things we need to be aware of and mindful of, things that are not great in the world. There's also a lot of really cool stuff going on. So try to look for that as well. Like put intention into seeking the timeline that you want to be on. Okay. So let's start with Aries. So this will be doesn't have to be for your sun sign. It can be for your moon sign, your rising sign, Venus, whatever. Achy and tired is it the energy? It could be. I know the Schumann resonance has also been going like crazy. So I'm sure that has something to do with it. All right, Aries, what's going on here? Aries. Ooh, I love this. This is why I'm saying there's like really good things going on too, because this energy coming through for Aries is so right. And maybe this is because of Chiron stationing direct. But I have you kind of leaning into I know it's the new year. I know this is kind of cliche, but you are stepping into almost an entirely new chapter, it feels like. You are seizing the day. You are here to make noise, Aries. I feel like there's a couple of you that have maybe been sitting on I don't know if it's a podcast. It feels like more video though. So maybe a video podcast that's also video streamed. They're saying stream when I pull up this page of swords. So Aries and Aries placements, there's something coming through about your presence and they're saying world stage or stage. So if you've been meaning to kind of make that something that happens this year, this week feels like a really good time to set some intention around that. Because I kind of feel like with the Eight of Swords reversed, it shows me that you have worked past the stories of self-limitation that have kept you from doing this, kept you from doing what you want to do with this. Not yet. We just started with Aries. What else is going on with Aries? Speak your affirmations. And that's interesting because it's coming up with the Page of Swords. And swords do have to do with communication, how we speak, how we talk to one another, how we connect. So what would it feel like, Aries, for you to actually say out loud the things that you really want? Even if they're not connected to a podcast, even if they're not connected to anything connecting, anything like that. What does it feel like to say the things that you want? This goes for everybody. What does it feel like to actually say the words, I want this? Even better, what does it feel like to say, I have this? I did it. Even if it hasn't manifested yet in 3D. Okay. Thank you for the finger hearts, Bryn. Positivity. That's so cute. Thank you. Happy New Year. See, like I'm saying, you guys, there's good stuff going on. Don't just go out of your way to look for things to be afraid of. This isn't for Aries. This is just for everybody. Just because of everything I'm seeing on my For You page, be careful. Fear is a psyop. Fear is a psyop. Okay? Aries, speak your affirmations, say what you want, say that you already have them, and see what it feels like in your body. See what it feels like, like somatically, where does success live? Where does relief live? Where does joy live? Okay, that's what I want you to focus on. Also, I feel like some of you with Aries placements, your intuition has just been like literally so on point lately. And you're just sitting back being like, I told them. I told them. I told them. All right, Taurus. Thanks for the follow, Gina. All right, what's going on with Taurus? Any particular Taurus placements? No. Taurus Jupiter, actually, if you, hi, Carrie. Taurus Jupiter, listen up. What's going on with Taurus this week? Ooh, Taurus, I feel like we're trying to stave off a mentee B. It feels like we're trying to stave off a mentee B. I think you can do it. I feel like you're this close to just being like, I'm done. Because they're saying something about collapse, but I think you can collapse into surrender versus a mental health crisis. I just want to offer that. Hello, guys. Welcome. Happy to have you guys. Thanks for tapping the screen, you guys. Taurus, I believe in you, but more important, your guides want you to believe in yourself. This says dominance. Okay. I have the 7 of Wands. The reason I'm saying it feels like you're staving off, hello guys, it feels like you're staving off a mentee B is I have the 7 of Wands, which is a very defensive sort of posturing of like, get out of my energy. Like, I don't need your shit right now. I don't need this. I have the 10 of Swords next to that. So these together kind of feel like I am this close to the edge. You got this. This is partially some of the energy coming in with the Schumann resonance. This is partially the shifting that we're going through into 2025. This is part of the collective shift. And for one of you, this has to do with the drones in a really specific way. Well, we can get into that later because I don't want that, or Dior bags, whatever the fuck we're calling them now. I don't know what that's about. So let me get some advice for Taurus other than just believing in yourself, because some of you are like, yeah, if I could do that, I would. Thanks so much. I appreciate your advice, Nimue. Let's see what else we got for you. They're saying lean into the collapse. Like a house of cards. Drop what you can't. They're saying drop what you can't carry, Taurus. You carry light. Maybe don't drop that. But like drop what you can't. Light is light, right? Like this isn't going to cost you anything to carry this. Drop anything that is not this. This definitely feels like there's a guy. This guy's toxic, Taurus. You know better. You know better. I don't care how good the whatever is. I'm going to keep this PG rated. No. Don't start your new year with that. Plus, I think he's been around. I don't know who needed to hear that, but you got to, I know it's good. It's not that good. It's not that good, especially if it's going to have consequences down the road. Let that chaos happen and come out stronger. Exactly. Grace, thank you for the follow. Just catching up on the chat a little bit. We are going Aries to Pisces. We are going Aries to Pisces. Nobody's worth it. And plus he has been, there's others that he's been doing that with. So Mama Mona, thank you for the follow, you guys. Thank you for the follow, Patty. Gemini. Let's look at Gemini. All Gemini placements. Oh, that wanted to come out too, huh? Domicile. They're saying something about domicile. Domicile, your home and your command of home. Ooh, okay, I'm actually going to read that reversed. I've been getting a lot of deconstruction from certain dogmatic religious institutions coming through in 2025 for several different signs. I can't remember exactly what they were. If you go into my YT, I don't even know if you're allowed to say this on, like, go to my YouTube and check out what I posted for the month for different placements. But there's a lot of deconstructing from what you used to think was the higher power, and now you're like, wait, I'm the higher power. I'm the higher power. That's why I never felt empowered, because they taught me I was not that. They took that away from me. They took that away from your probably other family members as well. But I have always with God reversed. And I don't always read these particular cards reversed, but as soon as I looked at it, I was like, oh my God, like it's literally like I want you to look at these two together. I feel like you are drawing in the power that they told you was outside of you. And this is making me really emotional all of a sudden, Gemini. Whoo! If you don't come from a religious background and you have Gemini placements, I want you to think about where you were conditioned out of personal empowerment and how you're taking that back. And again, they said something about domicile. Anthony, thank you for the follow. So this has to do with like you curating a space in your home that is like yours, your kingdom, your palace, your sanctuary. Working with flowers. Working outside, working with flowers, herbs, and plants for one of you with a Gemini placement is going to become very, very important. They're saying within the next like 3 to 6 months or so. I don't know if you're part of like some kind of community garden, because I feel other people getting involved with this as well. But there's something about you learning how to set up, like they're showing flower boxes, and they're showing you out with like gloves and stuff, and like you can smell the earth coming up. There's something about that in reclaiming some of your personal power. Court, thank you for the follow. Yeah, literally, I just pulled Earth, and look how happy this person is to be connecting in that way. Oh, mama, this is gorgeous. Gemini, this is a beautiful week for you. This is a really beautiful week for you to find that power. And the Queen of Pentacles is the Queen of Earth, the Queen of the Earth signs, okay? I'm just going to get a little piece of advice for Gemini. Not that I feel like you really need it, but 2 things came out. I have going with the flow, and I also have breaking the chains. And this is coming back to that deconstruction of disempowerment, whatever that means for you. Gemini, that was one of the most powerful readings I think I've ever given you in the 3 years I've been doing this. This is amazing. I'm not a Gemini, but I kind of want that word. Yeah, like honestly, what I offer for people is that like if you're here and you hear something that really like strikes a chord and resonates with you, take it. It's for you too. It's not just for Gemini placements. That was just crazy, crazy powerful. Thank you, Life with Elise. Good evening. Hello. Thank you for the follow, Becky. Thank you for the follow, Carrie. You guys are awesome. Thanks for tapping the screen, you guys. Thank you, Thick Puppy. Thank you so much. Feel free to share with your friends, you guys, if you feel like, thank you so much. Gifted Grandma, how's it going? Thank you, thank you. All right, Cancer. Any particular Cancer placement? No, all of Cancer Mars, actually. Ooh, yes, Cancer Mars, listen up in particular. Thank you, Amber, for the roses. Thank you, Thick Poppy, for the bracelet. We're going in order, Ashley. So right now we're at Cancer, so we're kind of just in the very beginning. Cancer Mars, this is going to be for any Cancer placement, but Cancer Mars, listen up, just because we are about to, in 4 days, Mars will be stationing retrograde in Cancer. This is going to be fun. Look at all these knights showing up for you. Cancer. There's something coming forward about what your head wants to do and what your body wants to do. Head versus body. Ooh. And I want to be careful with this because I don't want to get too triggery, but for some of you, this is about your relationship with food. And ultimately your relationship with yourself. I almost feel like I want to tell you to find a Gemini friend who's like digging in the dirt so like you can connect with the earth and just like rediscover that empowerment. There's a balancing that needs to happen between the headspace and the body itself, okay? So Knight of Pentacles also does things very carefully and slowly, where the Knight of Swords is like, that we gotta go, we gotta do it now. There's a lot of urgency with the Knight of Swords. So your mind might be telling you one thing very frantically, and your body is just like, dude, like, can we please slow down? For one of you, it's specifically your connection with sugar. And the first thing I need to tell you is to try to identify if there's shame or guilt that's kind of linking you to this pendulum with sugar. Sugar's in everything. They do that shit on purpose. Like, it is one of the most addictive substances in the world. They don't talk about it because the sugar industry like is it's huge, right? So please don't beat yourself up for whatever relationship this is. Just notice where that lives in the body and see if you can't breathe some love into it. Co-create. If you need help with this, if you need help, they're saying help with stabilization. And I'm feeling this from kind of like the waist down. This could be a literal physical thing that you have going on. I'm also feeling a lot of vertigo with Cancer. It's because you're not breathing enough, ultimately. Like, I feel like this is a come and go thing. And yes, it might be POTS for one of you, but there is a component to breathing and breath work that's coming up for Cancer that's going to help with whatever that vertigo is. Okay? What do I want to get for... Your Cancer boyfriend has a head cold. Okay, thank you for the follow, Foxy. So your advice is releasing your anger. Now, this is going to be interesting for you moving into this week because of Mars stationing retrograde into Cancer. My understanding is that when Mars doesn't like being in Cancer. Mars doesn't like being in retrograde or being in Cancer. Happy New Year. And there can be a lot of passive aggressive energy that gets really, really, really pent up and held in with that energy. So they're saying find a release valve. For some of you, it's video games. It's really one of those like F them up, like go into a video game and just lay waste to whatever you need to lay waste to kind of get this energy out of your system. Your daughter is in the ER. Oh, with belly pain and POTS. Oh, gifted grandma. Maybe that's who I'm picking up on. Tell her to breathe. If she's in a position to like receive, sometimes when you're in the ER, you don't need anybody telling you what to do, right? But long term, there's something with pots and like not just the breath, but it has to do with like some kind of weird, there's like something going on with either electrolytes or minerals going on in there. I'm not a scientist. I would need to learn more about pots to kind of tap into that more. All right, Cancer. Okay, now we're moving into Leo. Thanks for tapping the screen, you guys. Hello. Let me just go back in the chat a little bit. I apologize if I'm not seeing the chat here because I'm just kind of going. Amber, thanks for the roses. All right, Leo. Any particular Leo placements? Ashley, thanks for the follow. Lupus too. Rough. Leo. What are we doing, Leo? Thank you, Thick Poppy. This is a call-in. Because I would like to say, okay, let me sit with this for a little bit before I... Okay, I don't talk about twin flame stuff very often on here. Thank you for the follow, Rebecca. I don't talk about twin flame stuff very often on here because I don't like to. I think the whole twin flame narrative is often very misconstrued with like narcissist empath relationship stuff. Because it's so intense and oh my God, it's just like a crazy toxic dynamic. But Leo, there's something coming up about twin flame energy here. And I feel like there's something that you could do that could jeopardize the current relationship that you're in, or just make people look at you a little bit like, did you really, like, why did you do that? Why did you do that? I think, didn't I also pick something up like this for Taurus as well? I'm like, it's not worth it. It's not like, no, is that good? Oh, thank you, Gifted Grandma. I have the Three of Pentacles and creating synchronicity. The creating synchronicity is where I'm getting the twin flame stuff, because sometimes when you find what you think is your twin flame, all this like crazy magic starts to happen, right? Like, I'm not discounting that twin flame energy isn't like, it's real. It is a real thing. It's a real phenomenon. I've experienced it before multiple times, and it's powerful and it's engaging and it's very convincing. Oh my God, I haven't been writing everything down. Shit. Hold on. Pentacles. Okay. Don't make a mistake because they're hot. Don't make a mistake just because you think all the synchronicities are lining you up in this perfect thing. It's like, oh, the magic's telling me to do it. The magic is just telling you to pay attention. A lot of times when people are like, well, if I'm not supposed to be with that person, why does all this magic keep happening? Why do I keep dreaming about them? Why do I keep seeing the number 333? Because Spirit is telling you to pay attention. It's not telling you to be with that person necessarily. It's not telling you that you need to sacrifice your common sense to be with somebody who just makes you feel really, really elevated, because a lot of those relationships, as meaningful as they can be, they're toxic and they're addictive. I'm gonna pull a couple other cards for Leo, because I don't think that was for every Leo. Love bombing, yes. Because the Leos that are not in this energy are like minding their business. Leo, I feel like those of you that are not kind of like toying around with this, because they're showing a cat toy, like it literally feels like someone is dangling a toy and you're like, ah, like you can't help yourself. For those of you with Leo placements that are not in that energy, you're vibing. You're vibing. I have you very balanced. I have you in a place of like, I think you just went through something. Like, I don't, this almost feels like labor, and I feel like you're done now, and now you can kind of celebrate where you're at. Something was really, really worth the effort. Like, I'm feeling Leo like pushing up against something, and now they're like, now we're done. So I love that for Leo. I feel like just kind of rest where you are. I don't think there's much more you need to do this week. Just enjoy where you are. I have giving yourself a second chance showing up for Leo. So if you're Leo or have Leo placements, and you're not vibing with that sense of like resilience or that sense of like, I'm where I'm supposed to be, try again. A lot of what's going on right now astrologically is telling us not to give up. Okay. All right. That's Leo. Watch the twin flame thing, and then rest on laurels. What was Cancer? I forgot. I always do a recap, and I usually write them down, and I did not do it this time. Cancer was, what was it? Oh yeah, mind and body. I remember. All right, Virgo. Thanks for tapping the screen, you guys. Thanks for hanging out. And vertigo and breathing. Thank you very much. Vertigo, breathing. And sugar. Thank you. Thank you, guys. All right, Virgo. Any particular Virgo placements? Virgo Mars, listen up. Virgo Mercury, listen up. In particular. did one of you just have to put a pet down? Because that just came through really strong. Or are you on the debating if you have to put a pet down? Just let me know in the chat if that's resonating with you. Because that's what this feels like. That's what it even looks like in the cards. If not, if this isn't about putting a fur baby, because I don't know what that was about a fur baby being kind of sick, or like, I don't know if there's something about a decision that Virgo is being, I think almost like it's a decision you're going to have to make around something that has to go. Something has to go. And there's a lot of stress about whatever this is. It's causing a lot of anxiety. Virgo, are you okay? This feels very Virgoan. This feels very contracted around anxiety, but they're saying whatever the changes that you're being asked to make is a good one. Like ultimately, this is something you need to do. It feels like pull the plug energy on something, like almost literally. Virgo, are you in touch with your emotions right now? I want you to, I feel like Virgo just isn't in their body right now. That's kind of what I'm picking up from you guys. Or you're too in your body and you're hyperfixating on something. What is it that Virgo needs to let go of? Okay. 7 of Swords. Ooh, this is procrastination. This is procrastination, Virgo. This is avoidant energy that I'm picking up here. Queen of Swords. Pull the plug. That's the advice. It's pull the plug. Whatever it is that you're like, I can't. They're like, no, do it or somebody's going to do it for you is kind of what this feels like. Persistence. You're not giving, Virgo. Okay, here's your homework. Here's your homework. I want you to figure out what it is that you are so contracted around that you were like, I can't. It just feels like I can't look at it. I can't deal with it. It's like your cat threw up and you can't go look at it because you know you're going to start to, but you have to clean that shit up off the floor or somebody's going to step in it. And you don't want it to be you. You don't want it to be your kids. You don't want it to be your partner. What aren't you willing to let go of? They're telling you to let go of it. And this is not easy. This feels like a house, like this feels like a tremendous, like if I let this go, my entire life is going to have to change. But like I said, it's kind of one of those, you have a choice in this. You have a choice to either have some empowerment in how you choose to make the decision, or the reality will make the decision for you. And that's going to feel like they're saying kicking and screaming. Like, do you want to be dragged kicking and screaming into this next stage of your life? Or do you want to do it with a little bit of grace and self-respect? I'm sorry to like call you out like this. It's a lot. Okay. In order to get into this mindset of pulling the plug, of making the change, whatever it is, you need to get into observer mode. You need to get into a place of neutrality where you're not calling things good or bad, especially, they're saying, especially not calling yourself good or bad. This has nothing to do with how good or bad you are. This just has to do with moving forward. But literally, like, I feel like I'm like this, like my precious, like you can take this from me when I'm like, but it's not helping you, okay? I'm just gonna let it go. Pull the plug for a Virgo. Okay. Yikes. That was intense. I have a Virgo moon, and I have a couple of ideas of what that is for me, but that was, I went through that a couple of days ago. It wasn't fun. And I was dragged kicking and screaming a little bit into it, and I don't want that for you. I'm at my halfway point, guys. We're going to go from Libra to Pisces next, but just wanted to offer, I have a special reading that I am running through the end of the month. It's called WTF 2025. These are the only real predictive readings I do. I do them twice a year, from December to January, and then in July. There's a 6-month and 12-month option. So if you kind of want to get a look at your year ahead, check that out. Again, I'm only going to be running it until the end of the month, and patrons get a really sweet discount on that. So just wanted to offer that as well. If you guys like the lives, especially, I feel like this is going to stick around. I hope. I know I keep going back and forth on it, but if you guys want to follow me, there is a free tier on my Patreon. Check that out as well. The Patreon community is great. Libra. What's good for this week? Virgo, maybe your Libra friend can help you out. This feels okay. You know what this is the energy of for Libra? I want you guys to just kind of feel out how this would make sense for you. This feels like my kid has been living at my house for a little too long. They've something or someone has overstayed their welcome by using manipulation and emotional entrapment. And now it's time for you to put on the big person pants and say, get out, find a job, get a job, and get out of my house. Either metaphorical or not metaphorical. This is, we're done. We're done with this. There's also a little bit of a call-in for a Libra who might be doing this to somebody. Be careful of that. What I want to say is that, like, kind of where we're going consciousness-wise, the concept of karma, like the concept of how energy returns to us, is going to become more and more immediate. If you're doing things that you know are not, like, fully honest, just don't be surprised when people aren't fully honest with you. Okay? I'm just gonna write that Libra is done with this person's shit. Let me get some advice for you as well, because that was kind of quick for Libra. Hold on. Hello. Resources. I feel like this energy of this overstaying my welcome, or this person has overstayed their welcome, is a huge drain on your resources, and I think that's why they're telling you to put on the big boy pants and kick them out. This is for Libra. This is about empowerment. This is basically a message for Libra to just, like, identify, if anything, is there anyone in your life that comes in and uses emotional manipulation to overstay their welcome? It doesn't have to be literal. It doesn't have to be like it could, if it's directed at yourself, it's making excuses about why a certain part of you won't. Let me sit with this for a second. It's a great question. Because, like, you know how there's different parts of us, right? And maybe there's a part that's kind of been steering for a little bit too long. Six of Swords coming up around that. I don't know if it's that. Because I don't want you guys to think about being at war with yourself. I don't want you to think about parts of yourself in that way. This feels different. Could be an ex-best friend. It could be a job. Like, it could be a lot of things. It could be other energies too, like on social media, like things that are pulling you in and manipulating you into hitting that button, into like doom scrolling and stuff. It could be something like that. But I would say if you're hearing this and it's resonating in a way that you can apply it to yourself, just be careful that you don't get, like, aggressive with any part of yourself, because that just antagonizes the entire nervous system. Okay, that's Libra. Scorpio. They're saying Scorpio, Leo. So if you have, like, a combination of Scorpio and Leo, listen up in particular. Yeah, the unmasking process, Muffy, is a whole thing. Whole thing. All right, Scorpio. Another Two of Swords. About what? What's that about? Interesting. What is this? This is a really complicated reading for Scorpio. What are you guys doing? Okay, the first message for Scorpio is, if you've been sitting on your ass, even if it's like under the guise of like, I'm resting, I'm restoring, this feels more of like an internal state of like, I've just been kind of like lavishing. I have to cover this because it's a little, TikTok is getting weird with the stuff that they're getting mad about. So I think it's time to get going. Like, Scorpio, it feels like it's time to get up and get moving, but it's like, how? I have the Moon and the Knight of Cups, and this kind of feels like, you know, you have something to offer. You know you have something that's got like some panache around it. You know you've got something, but how do I bring it forward? I have, again, time for a nap reverse. So this kind of feels like it's time to get up and figure this out, or get up and do something. Because there's a part of you that's very, very sure it's ready to move forward with this sort of like, I have something to offer. Specifically, it feels around like healing, but the Two of Swords showing up is kind of like, they're saying it's a little bit of inertia, maybe by the Mars retrograde. Just don't get complacent. I think that's the main message for Scorpio, is don't get complacent right now. Don't get complacent. Let me get some advice for Scorpio. I love, this deck is really, really cool. It's called the Mystic Mondays Tarot, I think. Mystic Mondays or Mystic Tuesdays? Mystic Mondays. This is the deck. All right, advice for Scorpio. Inspiration. Yeah, I feel like there's something coming through for Scorpio. And again, if you have Scorpio and Leo placements, especially, if you're coming up with ideas, even if you don't know how to implement them right now, like maybe that Moon is just like, I don't know, I literally do not know. This feels like a writing project for one of you. I'm getting called out. I need to get back to my long fic. I've been on a hiatus for way too long on that thing. Just write down ideas as they're coming. You don't have to do anything with them yet, but yeah, just, they're saying don't sit on your hands, Scorpio. Hi, Remy. Sag. Thanks for tapping the screen, you guys. Thanks for sharing. Sagittarius. In particular, Sag Jupiter, listen up in particular. Okay, Sag. For the most part, this is gorgeous. But I feel like, I'm going to show you the cards in a second. I feel like Sag is sort of in this place right now of like, I have a really good thing going on, or I know where I want to go. I know what I want to create. I know what I want to do. Or like, at least I'm inspired enough to try to make that choice. But this Five of Wands, I don't know, there's something coming through about like other people holding you back, or you letting other people hold you back. I have the Sun and Death showing up here, and Death is about transition, moving into something new, letting something go. And as soon as I saw that Five of Wands, I feel like that's somebody being like letting other people affect them in a way where you're not following your joy. You're not following this highest timeline that you have for yourself. So the question is why? Why are you letting other people make that decision for you? There's probably a reason. Like when I say things like that, like when I ask you guys to question those things, I'm not telling you to do it in an antagonistic way. I'm telling you to ask with curiosity. And humility, they're saying too, like be gentle with yourself. So community is showing up here. I think this has to do with finding a better community. I think there's like this sign that like they're showing like somebody on a ship and sailing, like a mariner. Is that what they're called? And finding your people and future potentials. Please, 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 Sagittarius, don't let other people's opinion of you hold you back. That's literally you giving your power away for free. You're giving your power away for free. And often there is a trauma response that goes along with this, especially if you were conditioned in a household that taught you aren't allowed to have your own things or ask for stuff. Like this is sometimes a healing journey in the making when we start to realize how other people are like causing us to limit ourselves. So don't let them hold you back. Let me get an advice card for you. So Candace, these are general readings at the moment. You can get a personal one-on-one card for me if you subscribe here or if you join the Patreon. All right, so Sag, I have releasing your anger and conquering your demons. So I think in order to get out of this bind of other people's opinions affecting where you want to go, you're going to have to get mad about it. Like you might have to stomp your feet and be like just recognize how frustrating it is when we let other people decide who we are. What other people think of you. Thank you so much, Give to Grandma. What other people think of you is none of your business. You can't control what other people think of you, and trying to do so is actually a form of manipulation. So go be happy, go be free, okay? So Candace, if you want to sign up for a mediumship reading with me, my link is on my profile. I'm not doing mediumship at the moment though, love. I'm so sorry, and my condolences to you. Capricorn is going to be next. Cap rising, listen up in particular. Thanks for tapping the screen, you guys. What's going on with Capricorn? Lots of Five of Wands energy for you guys. I feel like there's a lot of like, there's something about 2025 that feels like an entirely new software program that's being uploaded into the collective. And there's a lot of like stickiness and kind of like glitches in that software coming online. Yeah, Hannah, but I'll do a recap at the end. Whew. Capricorn, this just made me want to start crying. Because this is about, oof. I'm hearing, why did he leave me? Why did he leave me? Like there's this like almost moaning sound to this. I have the Moon. Sometimes this card can represent like our deepest and darkest fears, more so than the Devil card. The Devil represents our behaviors around those fears. This is more the fears themselves, the subconscious. I have the Five of Wands showing up, the Two of Cups. Justice. This feels like it could have been, I don't know if this is quite a divorce. It doesn't feel like that to me. But I have Judgment. I feel like this is a huge, I don't know if you're in a Venus return or something, but there's something going on with Capricorn around like, why did they leave? Why did I fuck it? And there's some anger that's coming up around here. There's a really strong propensity for you to try to blame. There's a lot of blame that I'm picking up on with that Five of Wands. Blame only takes you so far. I think at a certain point in your healing journey, yeah, like pointing blame or applying blame to something it's like how do you want to put it? Like a thumb drive. Like it's somewhere for that energy to go, but that energy doesn't dissipate. It just stays in a different place. Capricorn, what if it's no one's fault? Nobody, they're like, nobody wants to hear that. Sorry, but what if it's true? Thank you for the rose. Poised. So I think once you're through this, Capricorn, this little dark tea time of the soul, the peace that you're going to find internally from letting this go, from letting go of the blame specifically, you can't put a price tag on that. I've never felt more peace in my life than when I just stopped trying to point my finger at a particular relationship that I loved pointing my finger. That was all I did, was like blame that relationship for everything that was wrong in my life. And at a certain point, I was like, okay, but like, what is that doing? Like, it's a way for me to vent. It's a way for me to maybe feel a little bit more powerful than I did because of what happened to me. But it just wasn't like I wasn't growing. You don't grow from blame. So I'm going to write, drop the blame, find the peace. Find the peace. Yes, nurse, I will do a recap shortly. That was a rough one for Capricorn. Aquarius, any particular Aquarius placement? No. Aquarius Venus, actually. Listen up. More Two of Cups energy, okay? Ace of Cups. Who do you want to, okay, the message coming through for Aquarius is who do you want to share your cup with? Because in order to have this really lovely sort of harmonization of love for yourself, love with somebody else, emotional fulfillment, there's something about a rigidity that needs to be let go of in order to do that. It's trust. It has to do with trust. Trust is something that you kind of, especially if you have trust issues or trauma around trust, yes, it can take a while to kind of rebuild some of that scaffolding around it. But this is so, like, literally, this is just like joy, emotional fulfillment between you and another person. Somebody's got a really rough relationship with their dad or dad's side of the family. And this actually feels like if you have a rough relationship with your dad, his relationship with his dad was 20 times worse. There's something about a military component coming in with this as well. And there's a little bit, this is a little morbid. There's a little bit of like, I'm not going to be able to find that until this person is like out of the equation entirely. You don't need to wait. You just need to deconstruct that programming within yourself. Therapy. Candace, thank you for the follow. Anything else for Aquarius? They're saying drop the act? About what? Okay, Aquarius, come here. I'm going to hold your hand. This is a very gentle call in. This is a little bit of tough love. It's a little bit of tough love. There's a little bit. Okay? I'm not saying this to shame or guilt or make you feel worse or make you spiral. There's a little bit of woe is me that I'm picking up through here. Like, oh, poor me, poor me, poor me. And maybe you have a legitimate reason to feel that way. Usually we do. Usually there is something to attach to that self-pity, but they're also kind of like, if deep down what you're looking for is like more loving connection with other people and yourself, that's what the act is. Like, you have to drop the act. You have to drop this like woe is me story in order to move forward. And there's no shame. There's no shame in this. Like, we're allowed to feel whatever the fuck we want. It's just like, in order to step into a new chapter, you have to let that go. Okay. The victim complex, basically. So drop the act for Aquarius. Last but not least, it's Pisces. Pisces moon, Pisces rising, listen up in particular. Enough of, wow. This is very cunty. This is very, very cunty coming through for Pisces. Stop picking fights with people. Stop letting people pick fights with you. There's a lot of drama coming through this reading for Pisces. Lots of drama. This is where I'm getting the like cunty, like this. I'm just going to do what I want. Pisces, I want to say that you're at risk for a little bit of not a mentee B, but a spiral. There's a little, thank you for the follow. Solomon said so. A little bit of an edge, a knife's edge that you're walking on, because there's something that's getting triggered right now. There's a lot that's getting triggered for a lot of us. Again, that Chiron moving direct, I know a lot of people are like, yay, that shit hurts, because that's like all of a sudden, all the reflection we've been doing around our pain stuff starts moving forward. And like, if you're still in that, I have the Princess of Pentacles. Pisces, get into your body. Like I almost like want to like be a little bit more like with you. Do not do anything reckless over the next week. I want you to be very careful, especially if you drive. There's something about like I don't know, if anybody skateboards or does anything on wheels and you have Pisces placements and you get triggered, do not get on those wheels. I'm going to write mind your triggers and mind the drama as well. Let me get some advice for Pisces. Carving your own path. Do that. Just don't do it without looking both ways before you cross the street, okay? That's everybody. I'm going to do a recap shortly, but I like to use this time to pull, do some card pulls for any, patrons or subscribers to the TikTok. So if you want a card, let me know in the chat. The vibe today is stern but fair. Yeah, that's been the vibe for me for the past like 2 or 3 days, is like, and that's coming off the new moon in Capricorn. That new moon in Capricorn absolutely destroyed me, like in a good way-ish, but I'm still recovering a little bit from it. General for Carrie. Achieving success. Okay, so Carrie, I know we talked in the Patreon a little bit about how like you've reached a certain pinnacle, right? Like you've reached a certain point on your climb of healing. Please give yourself credit where credit is due. Like gold stars. Give yourself like have a little sticker board or something. They're also saying something about making a vision board. I know that some people love doing this. A vision board of just what success and happiness looks like for you, just for fun. Like make it like a collage or something. Thanks for the follow, Shayte. So Shayte, unless you are a subscriber or unless you are a patron, I am only pulling cards for those folks. General card for Merchant Woo, absolutely. Restoring hope. Let me see what this is about for you. This feels like kind of more existential, more than just even like a personal thing. Thank you, Mama Cat. Queen of Swords. I feel like there's something, a little bit of a discussion happening in your consciousness. A little bit of a like, yeah, let's be stern, but let's be fair. Like, let's be real. We can take things seriously while still keeping that little candle flame of hope alive. I feel like somebody, like a very strong, like feminine warrior figure walking hand in hand. Like this is like Athena with like a little baby you just kind of skipping along and like blowing dandelions. So Hannah, are you a subscriber or a patron? And same question to Carrie, because again, I'm only pulling for, them's my rules in the lives. If you guys are a subscriber here or a member of my Patreon, I am happy to pull a card for you. I reserve this time for them. I just saw that Nurse RN became a subscriber. No, so it needs to actually be a subscriber or a patron. And it usually will tell me. Thanks, Nikki. Just catching up in the chat. Oh, that's okay, Hannah. Nurse RN, but I do see that you just subscribed. Would you like me to pull a card for you? And if so, let me know if you want something general or specific, and then we'll get into the recap, guys, those of you that are waiting to hear what we pulled for everybody. Thanks for the follow. Cutest patootiest relationship card. You got it, babe. And thanks for subscribing. Appreciate it. I honestly encourage you guys, if you want to be a part of whatever this community is awesome. I do a lot more content on Patreon. I've started posting a lot on my YouTube now too. Completion and renewal, Nurse RN. Completion and renewal. I feel they're kind of like not to get gross, but I almost feel like there's like a and then like we're done. We're ready. This feels very empowered. I do feel a little bit of kind of like wobbly legs and stepping into this new timeline. So Mama Kate, oh, you subscribe. I'm not seeing you as a subscriber, Mama Kate. I'm not seeing you as a subscriber. It'll say Faye after your name if you're a subscriber. So that's what does this make sense, Nurse RN? There's something about you stepping into like a new kind of power, but there's also a little bit of like, holy shit, like a little bit of like, I just put on like 6-inch stilettos, but I'm used to wearing 2-inch stilettos, but I look really good in these 6-inch stilettos though. Let me know if that resonates with you. Makes sense. Okay. I'm excited for you. Take your time walking in them heels. You like look, because they look great on you, but just baby steps. Like they're showing like a baby fawn, like just learning how to walk. You got a long way to go and it's going to be great. And it's not going to take you as long to get there either as you think it might. Any other fae, any other patrons that would like a card before we do the recap at the end? All right, so we're gonna do a recap for everybody, just really quick. Aries just felt so good. Aries felt very much like you will find your voice this week, honestly, probably this year. But there was something coming through about like, what would it feel like, Aries, to say that you already have the thing that you want with conviction? Like, where does that live in your body? Where does success live in your body? Where does happiness live in your body? Where does joy live in your body? Taurus, why am I forgetting Taurus now? I remember Gemini. Oh, Taurus. There was something coming through about like, don't let that toxic guy back into your life. You know what? I'm actually going to pull a couple more cards for Taurus because I feel like that person is not in the chat anymore. So let me just do a fresh one. Magician and Judgment. Taurus, this feels like a big step forward in your own practice. I feel like this is somebody who started practicing witchcraft and all of a sudden you're like, wow, this legitimately works. And I'm really good at it. And it feels like you're kind of like stepping into this new sense of empowerment. I feel it through the heart space. Pace yourself. Pace yourself. Because you don't want to get too like witchcraft, magic, manifestation is all spicy psychology. So you want to make sure you kind of have a grip on your nervous system as you're engaging with this kind of practice. Gemini was an incredibly powerful reading around deconstructing and reconstructing out of disempowerment. It could be through a religious institution. It could be through some family stuff and back into more power. And I had Gemini like outside and like getting in the dirt and digging and like creating a garden and just finding your power through your connection with the earth. Cancer, there was a lot of mind and body stuff coming up for you. Your mind telling you to do one thing and your body saying something else. And I want you to try to work on harmonizing those two things. There was something coming through around your relationship with food and sugar specifically. And a huge message around like, stop, like the last thing that's going to help any of us, no matter if you're a Cancer or Sagittarius, whatever, if you're trying to have more like discipline or self regulation around certain things like drinking, eating, exercise, the last thing that you want to motivate you, because it won't motivate you, is shame. Shame is awful. It's garbage. It's hot garbage. So motivate yourself with positive reinforcement versus negative reinforcement. Leo, there was two messages for Leo. One was to watch out for twin flame energy, because there was a chance you were going to make a terrible decision. Just because like, no, but I saw 333 5 times today. It must mean that he's the one. No, it does not mean that he's the one. It just means that the universe is asking you to pay attention. Pay attention to the red flags, maybe. The other message for Leo was to just rest on your laurels, chill out. You've made it through thick and thin, and I think this next week you just coast, just chill out. Virgo. Virgo was so contracted around something that you need to let go of that the message was essentially like, let go or be dragged. Like either you need to make the decision to let this shit go, and it felt like a pretty big decision, just to be fair, or the universe will make it for you. And I just felt like, no, there's a lot of avoidance energy coming through with Virgo. That's not going to serve you with whatever this is. Libra. I just have that Libra's like done with everybody's shit. Like Libra, be very, very careful of manipulative energy, of people taking up space where they are not welcome, people overstaying their welcome using manipulation. And there was also a little bit of a call in for Libra to make sure that you're not doing that too to somebody else, just because you're like, I just want to, like, there's a little bit of like, but I just want to hang out with you. I just want to hang out. If anybody were to talk to me like that now, I don't want that person near me. I'm sorry. That's so, anyway. Sorry, I'm a quadruple Scorpio. I'm kind of a hermit. Manifesting all the witch talk besties. Scorpio is like almost the opposite of Leo. I have don't get complacent. Write down whatever inspired ideas are coming through. If you feel like there's somewhere that you want to go, but you just don't know how to get there yet, like map it out. Don't just do nothing. Don't just be complacent. Sagittarius, don't let them hold you back is what I have written down. Thank you for the follow, Moonlit Coven. Don't let them hold you back. Don't let other people decide who you get to be. Fuck that. Capricorn, drop the... What the hell does that say? Do I have to pull a new one for Capricorn? I think I do. I don't remember what this says. Oh, there was something really painful coming through with Capricorn. I remember it had to do with relationships. I think with Capricorn, what it was somebody being like, why did he leave me? Why did he leave me? Why did he leave me? That's what I think I remember for Capricorn. And, or why did they leave? There's a little bit of an abandonment wound. No, drop the act was Aquarius. Drop the act was Aquarius. And I have dropped the something written. I can't read my own handwriting. I love myself. I love myself so much. Becca, thank you for the follow. It was drop the blame. It was drop the blame. It was basically talking about how casting blame only takes you so far. After a certain point, blame just kind of keeps you spiraling around your pain. And it was drop the blame for the peace. Drop the blame, find the peace. That's what it says. Drop the blame, find the peace. Okay, easier said than done. But this feels like a several year long thing, like up to 5 years ago. Why did he leave? Because he wasn't for you. It wasn't meant to be, buddy. It wasn't meant to be. I'm sorry it hurts, but like continuing to be like, well, he did this and she did this. It almost feels like there's like, you want to blame this on somebody else instead of just accepting the reality that this cannot happen. This is giving the vibe of somebody, and oof, I just don't want you to be this person who's calling a tarot reader like every month being like, well, will he? Because there's just this level of denial. I've only had a couple of clients that do this, and I very, very, very gently always try to coach them back into a place of like personal empowerment. I get it. I get how bad this stuff can hurt. Trust me. Aquarius, I did write down drop the act, and it was kind of like, if you've been feeling kind of sorry for yourself, if you feel like you give more attention to feeling victimized than you do empowered, it's time to flip that around, especially if you want more love in your life. And last but not least was Pisces. Mind your manners and mind the drama and mind your triggers. Be very, very careful too, Pisces. If you get triggered and you want to get in your car, your bike, your skateboard, whatever, don't do that. Don't like wait until the wave has passed. It's everybody. That is everyone. How we vibing? How we feeling? Thanks for the follow. Thank you for the follows, you guys. Very different energy for everybody, for the most part. Sometimes there's like a theme I'll see, but I think 2025 is going to be like literally fucking all over the place. Any questions, thoughts, comments, concerns? If you guys want to book with me one-on-one, the link is in my bio. I have an awesome Patreon with an incredible community there. If you want to check that out, I do 4 to 6 lives there a month. Personal card pulls, channeling with my galactic team, which I do way more there than I do here. And it's really fun because we always have a Q&A section, Q&A portion of the lives where people can bring their questions to them. And the stuff that comes through, it always blows my mind. They're just amazing. They are amazing. Worlds in I love this group. All right, you guys, if there's no more thoughts, comments, questions, or concerns, I might, sign off for the evening. I missed Libra. Libra it was a lot to do with making sure that you weren't being manipulated emotionally into letting somebody take up more space than they are entitled to. Not that anyone's entitled to your space, but it kind of felt like somebody's grown kid. Like, you know, they're like 24 at this point, and they just kind of think they're going to get to live there forever. And you're like, absolutely not. Like, it is time for you to find your way. Like, fly, baby bird. It felt a lot like that. Hannah, excited for Scorpio. Scorpio is like, yeah, chasing your inspiration, writing all that stuff down. Good stuff. Do I have any galactics here right now, or should I do that in a different stream? If there is anybody who wants to ask a question for them, you can. I just felt one of them drop in. This feels like Oscar. I haven't talked to him in a hot second. Oscar's not mine. He kind of tags in sometimes. He works with my friend Jess. He's great. He's freaking great. I haven't felt him in years, actually. That's wild. Bum 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 bum. Guys, be careful of the news. Be careful of the news. Yeah, I'm getting there too. I kind of just want to play like Stardew Valley. Well, I'm also doing my third One Piece rewatch, so I might watch a couple more episodes. I'm in the East Blue. Pre-time skip One Piece gives me so much serotonin. It's insane. Yeah, and I think, okay, I said it in the very beginning. Fear is a psyop. Fear is a psyop. Fear, I need to get that tattooed somewhere. Fear is a psyop. It's a psyop. They're trying to make you afraid. You know what fear does? You know what it does? It gets your critical thinking. Just shut the fuck up. It turns on the paranoia. It turns on the us versus them. It removes class consciousness. It removes creative thinking, curiosity, question asking. It turns all of that off. And there's a reason I feel everything that I'm seeing in the news feels so I don't know. It feels obvious to me that this is scripted. It feels obvious to me that this is scripted. And it feels obvious to me that they're trying to create a narrative that we've already, I really had hoped we'd work through this whole Islamophobia thing, but no, obviously all the phobias, because that's what this whole incoming whatever regime is getting their power from. It's their battery is bigotry. They run off of it. I feel all over the place energy. Yeah, buckle up, Ellen Renee. And I'm not saying this to sound like a fucking fearmonger. I've just been very, especially my Patreon, just been very gently been like, I want you guys to think about 2020 and what you learned from then. What did you learn? And I don't mean that in a cynical way either, because 2020, as ironic as this may sound, was one of the best years of my life. It completely transformed me as a person. It transformed me as a spiritual practitioner. It gave me hope in ways I didn't realize I could have hope. It gave me empowerment that I never even realized was possible. It was scary. It was crazy. It changed the world. I knew everything was going to change forever. A lot of spiritual practitioners did. A lot of astrologers were sounding the alarm bells on 2020 way before 2020 hit. Every astrologer could see what was coming and knew that was going to be the end of the old world and the beginning of whatever new world that we're moving into. 2025 is going to be like that on steroids. And I say that not even just as an intuitive with what I'm picking up, because the fucking, I don't know if I have any patrons here who were there for the live stream where we did the predictions. My predictions were 4 pages long. Like, they just wouldn't shut up about all of the crazy things that are going to be happening in this upcoming year. And if you look at the astrology syncs up with that. There's some major shifts that are happening in planets that don't change signs very often. Neptune being one of them. Neptune moving into Aries, which I am very interested to see how that plays out. I'm concerned about it. It's really the only astrological placement I'm like actually concerned about, especially in the beginning, because of the nature of Aries and what's going on with the masculine right now on this planet. I feel all over the, yeah. There were some wild, I mean, and again, predictions are just that. A lot of them are metaphorical. I would be very curious to see how many of them actually do happen. Last year, what they helped me predict accurately, it was so weird because I remember them kept saying Macron, like the president of Prime Minister, president of France. And I knew nothing about European politics at that point. And then I don't know if you followed anything going on in France over last year, but oh boy, did a lot happen. Like in major ways. They called the Sahara flooding, and they also called, I didn't know that's what they were doing, but they kept saying voice in the sky, and now we've got all the Dior bag stuff going on. So they called those 3 things. But yeah, that was fun. You can go back you can join the free tier in the Patreon and watch that live stream if you guys want to. I'm trying to decide what I want to pull onto this platform from that whole live stream. Yeah, that's by design, Amber. To be confused about that. That's another reason why I feel like all these big headlines are happening right now, because it's pulling us out of there and back here, and into feeling afraid. And like, I'm seeing all these people, and it sucks that this has to happen. They're like, don't go outside, don't gather. And I'm like, to a certain point, I get that. Like, we do have to be mindful, we have to be safe, but I feel like this is such an old fucking Script. This is such an old script. I can't imagine being a parent right now, dude. I mean, I'm an auntie to a couple of different kids, and I'm real with them. I don't try to hide too much. I try to just, check in with them and see how they're feeling. I would just say be as honest with your daughter as you can. They have 7 more years till their brain is done developing, so encouraging them to fill their nervous system with good stuff is probably a good idea. But the world is going to keep changing. Like, just with where we're going, the way that was some of the main stuff that came in prediction wise from them was all about like AI and quantum technology, like quantum computers and stuff. It cannot be overstated how much that technology is going to change everything. It's huge, and it's not all bad either. It's just going to, like, remember the world. I don't know how many of you in the chat like remember the world before the internet. Because I'm an exennial. Like, I was right on that cusp of like my childhood was without the internet. This is back when, and this is like my one like old man yells at cloud thing, when we could go to concerts and just dance instead of pull out our fucking phones and like film everything. And just like not like I can't stand like it's my biggest pet peeve on social media is watching people, especially at like an EDM show, not dancing and just filming. I'm like, what are we doing? What is that? Anyway, that's my own kvetch. That's my own kvetch. It just drives me crazy. There's been 1 or 2 moments at a show that I've been like, yeah, this is really cool. I'm glad I got it on camera. But I never go back and rewatch what I film at a show. I want to be there for the moment. I want to be there for the group field. I want to be there for that exhilaration. Like, man, my first Bonnaroo completely changed my life. That was amazing. Being in a sea full of Southern hippies. Oh, so good. 80,000 of us. All right, you guys, I'm going to sign off for the night. Have a wonderful evening. It was lovely hanging out with you, and see you again soon. Yeah, put your phone down and enjoy the show. Like, what is that? Like, I saw all those people at that, what's the guy's name? Anima, the guy at the Sphere? And to be fair, like, the visuals were outstanding, but nobody was dancing. Nobody was dancing. Why are we going to EDM shows if we're not going to rave, if we're not going to dance? I don't understand. It doesn't make any sense to my brain. And people get very defensive about it too. People get mad when you bring it up in the comments. Okay, bye. This is Icing It Out with you guys. Take care.